Let me quickly share with you the story of a very wealthy man. Very, very wealthy indeed. Very wealthy. He has a very large empire. He had so many companies all over the world. Yes, and of course he had children, and he so planned his life in a way that all his companies were established in the name of all his children, all of them. He has planned it out that once they reach their maturity age, they could just come and take over their companies. Everything was planned for them. But there was this particular child. He didn't want to identify with his father because he felt, he could do things on his own. So fast forward to when he finished school, he went on the street to scout around for job. He went job hunting, and eventually he got one, after a while. Of course, nobody knew who his father was, so like any other, person, he was given the job and he had to start, from the scratch. So the journey began. He started hustling. He had side hustles. He was struggling and depending upon his own ability and intellect. He didn't want that leverage. He didn't want to identify with his father because he felt, well, okay, I'm matured now. I should be able to stand on my own. Yes, it's good to be matured, but why would you suffer yourself when you could leverage on something that has been laid down for you? Okay, so this guy was there doing his 9 to 5 job, doing side hustles, trying to put food on the table, trying to make ends meet and all that. He kept on struggling. He never let people know who his father was. So he's there on the street. Fine. Good. Yeah. The way some of our children act at times. We have some of them that want to, prove macho. That, yeah, I can do this. Don't worry, daddy, I've got this. When things could be easy for you. Why would you, want to disturb yourself when you have the leverage to make things go easy for you? So he was just there struggling when all he needed to do was just to go and meet his father. And unknowing to him, he even had a company in his name. Yeah, this same guy I'm talking about is you. Yes, you watching me. He said you are a child of God. You are identified with him. God knows you. Even before you were born, he named you. He has you inscribed, on the palm of his hands. And he directs the affairs of this earth. He has a heaven and earth, under his control like this. He owns the heart of the king. He can, speak and things will be. And you call yourself his child. And you cannot leverage on that. Let me remind you the scripture. Jeremiah 29:11. He said, for I know the plans that I have for you. They are plans of peace, not of disaster, to give you a future and a hope. Another version says to give you an expected end. God has pre-planned everything for you. So why don't you want to identify with him? Why won't you just go and meet him and leverage? And stop running around. Stop trying to depend upon your own self when you have the Almighty as a Father who owns the silver, the gold, and he knows the hidden riches of the Gentiles. He can just hand everything over to you. Like the man was just waiting for his son to come home and say, Daddy, here I am. I'm ready. I want to take what is mine. These things belongs to God. They are yours because you are his child. Simple.